Welcome back to the channel. We're at beautiful Virginia International Raceway. As you can tell, it is a wet but cool day, which the temperatures are really nice reprieve from the Florida heat. Now in late May, Florida is just brutal, man. And actually, I think this will be my last track day for the summer. I'll probably go back out maybe September. I don't know, we'll see if I can hold out that long. But anyways, we do have a few things to cover. So I did say that there was going to be no changes to the car, but there was some changes to the car. Most important and better looking is this beautiful APR splitter and dive plane combo. I really always hated how the stock dive planes were black. You can never find one that matched. My car has the carbon package, so it's got the carbon skirts and carbon exposed hood or whatever. So my front lip is carbon, but these little side dive planes, canards, whatever you call these, they're black from the factory. Okay, they're like this black, you know, the carbon flash or whatever, and it looked kind of crappy. And honestly, after 4 years of tracking, it was really kind of beat up. It was hitting its age. So I was able to find this beautiful APR carbon splitter, and it comes with its canard. The wave is not going in the same direction, so that's a little disappointing, but you know, it does look really good. This part is much deeper here, much deeper, to the point that I had to change my race ramps. I had to get the longer, skinnier race ramps so it wouldn't scrape like crazy. Wow, look at that machinery. Damn. How cool is that? McLaren and Lamborghini. I guess those are GT3s or GTRs. I don't know. Super cool. But anyways, yeah. So you know, I did the front lip. Very nice kit. It comes with you do have to use their splitter. So you know, it's like a whole package kind of deal. Okay. Now I did have some damage on the bumper. Okay, from my original splitter. All right, so here's the APR versus the stock one. As you can see, the stock one has a little bit of a different clear. This is a little bit of a darker. The weave is also a little bit different. But look how much wider this is here compared to the stock one. So really, that's the biggest difference. Is like right here. Okay, this is much wider. And I mean, you know, look, the stock one, honestly, for being 4 years in there, this actually happened on the street, by the way. It did really good. I think most of this will come out with the PPF. Unfortunately, my PPF guy, I didn't realize, but he stopped here. So all this lip here did get peppered. But you know, for 4 years, you know, this thing did pretty good. So I'm excited to see how this looks. And the best part about it really is that you get matching carbon dive planes, canards, or whatever, as opposed to like the stock black ones. You know, I never really liked how the black was right next to the carbon fiber, you know what I mean? So, you know, I did this really mostly for looks, to be honest with you. So I already have this PPF. So now before I go to install it, I do have to do some reinforcement, because when I removed this, I realized that the bumper is starting to split. And there's parts where it was riveted, and it's hard to see in video, but this is all bulged down. So all these and the ones over there, they're all, you see those bubbles there? That's where the original lip was riveted. So in order to reinforce that, what I'm gonna do is I had this fiber board left over from a project. This is just carbon fiber skin, so this is really fiberglass, carbon fiber on fiberglass. So I'm gonna glue this to the inside of the bumper. And originally I was gonna epoxy it, but I think that since this is plastic and that's fiber and it's gonna kind of be moving around, I think I'm gonna use some window weld. So this is some urethane, and you know, you can use this to glue the fiber to the plastic. All right, so I took my carbon fiber pieces and I cut them into 1 inch strips, 1 inch wide strips, long strips. And then I use the urethane glue, the window weld, and I just put it right here. 1 inch is about what you want. I try to do it bigger, but this will run into it. So 1 inch is good. So then I cut a piece from like here to here, and then I did another piece here. These pieces are a little tricky to fit in there, so you're gonna have to yank on this down, okay, and just put it there. So I think the urethane is the right idea, because since this is flexible, you know, if you were to epoxy this, the epoxy would just break. So then I do the same thing over here. So then once I go to install the lip, I'm gonna, you know, obviously I'm letting this dry for a while. I'm gonna drill through, I'm gonna put the rivets through the lip, through the bumper, and through that plate, and hopefully that'll keep the bumper from ripping. You know, I don't want this to continue to rip. Oh, there goes my light. Okay, another thing is I did end up removing the additional grill that I did. What happened was I ended up picking up a part. I was actually a carbon lip for one of my friends, Danny, and they happened to have a C7 ZR1 at the shop. And the grill in the C7 ZR1 is actually quite a bit more open than the Z06, okay, even on the sides over here. And then what GM did is they actually put like a grill guard directly on the heat exchanger. It's kind of hard to see, but it really doesn't impede any kind of airflow from here or to the actual cooler. The only thing that they're doing is protecting the actual tubes. Like all the fins are for the most part exposed. So seeing that, you know, I decided, you know what, if GM, you know, they could have just put in a grill guard, you know what I mean? And I believe that's kind of how they do it now in the C8. But, you know, they even, for the C8, they even tell you that you got to remove it for, you know, track use. So I reluctantly removed it. It is what it is. My heat exchanger lasted, you know, almost 4 years without damage. So, you know, just crossing my fingers that, you know, it'll be good for another 4 years. And then the other thing is I reinstalled this ducting, okay? I do believe that the car will run cooler without it, okay? Especially since this is all kind of deformed. Because I did install the automatic radiator. It is a little bit thicker, and no matter how many times I order this, it comes the same, even though the automatic car does have a different part number. So anyways, but I did want to try, because I never actually did any kind of like testing. I just removed the whole thing and assumed that it was going to run cooler. So obviously, you know, today is not the best day to test for cooling mods, but over the weekend the goal is to do some laps with everything like this, okay? And then once the weather stabilizes, and then, you know, remove this guy, do a couple laps and see how, you know, what difference does it make, and then remove that guy. It won't be exactly scientific because, you know, you can't control the weather, you can control the temperature exactly and the humidity, but hopefully it'll be close enough to see if there's actually any kind of, you know, improvement by taking this off, you know. You would assume that GM wouldn't go through the trouble and spending the money on adding these things if they didn't really make any difference. So we'll see. I am kind of curious. There's a lot of speculation, okay, on the internet and on the forums about these setups. Some people just say, oh, you know, GM is a genius of engineering, and, you know, if you remove that, you're going to ruin the car. And some people say, yeah, just rip it out. It runs much cooler. So I wanted to see for myself if it made any actual, you know, measurable difference in the temperatures. Another thing is I do have a new to me set of wheels and tires. The tires are not new. They're from 2021 and they have been used. Okay, but I found a local guy who was selling his car, Grand Sport, very nice older gentleman. And, you know, so he just had these kind of laying around. I was able to pick these up for a pretty good price. These are AR1s, okay, but they're from, like I said, from 2021. So it's a 315/30 front and a 335/30 rear, okay, so nice wide front tire. They do feel nice and soft to the touch at least. And from my experience with these AR1s, I'll probably get, you know, a few more track days out of this, you know, a good amount of heat cycles more. The reason why, these are 18-inch, 18 by 11, 18 by 12 and a half. It's the same sizes as my other wheels, my other 18s. And the reason really why I got these, not because I wanted to have new wheels or anything like that, but honestly, after tracking for 4 years on the signatures, they're starting to look really raggedy, and wheels are a wear item, guys, okay? So before these crack or I have some kind of major failure with these, I'm gonna retire these. So I'm gonna use up the rest of these tires, okay? I still have these CRS V2's. So I'm still using these, but once these tires wear out, I'm gonna retire these wheels, clean them up and sell them. And then these Apex will be my main track wheels, you know, for the foreseeable future. So as usual, I'm not gonna bore you guys doing lap after lap after lap. So I'll just kind of show you the highlights, guys. All right, so let's go to some laps. right, guys, so just like that, we're back at Florida, back at home base. So I didn't mention it because I didn't do anything with it. I didn't take any other stuff off the whole time that I was there. The car simply ran much cooler. That's really the reality of it. On average, I was seeing 226, which for this car is great. It did get to 92 degrees on the second day. On the first day, it also got to like 90 degrees, okay? But obviously, not as much humidity as Florida, so take it with a grain of salt. We'll have to see how it does, you know, when we're back out in the real heat and the real humidity of Florida. That'll be a true test. But 226 on average, I did see a 237 there, but honestly, it was like after 40 minutes of continuous track time at the end of the day and like one of the happy hours, you know, when you have 1 hour full track time. So, you know, I can't really fault the car for that. You know what I mean? That's not usually what I would do anyways. Okay. So overall much cooler. So I do think that, you know, unfortunately having the mesh did make a big difference. So the mesh is going to stay off for now, and then eventually we'll test, you know, taking this stuff off. All right. Now, I didn't get to a magical sub 2. Best I could muster was a 204.6. You know, I know that, you know, everybody's goal is to run a sub 2 at VIR. Obviously, the car can do it, but I couldn't do it. You know, and next time I really just have to go with fresh tires. And there's you know, looking at the data and the videos and stuff like that, there's plenty of time left. You know what I mean? I wasn't really sending it. I'm not that kind of guy. You know, I wanted to drive the car back onto the trailer, get it back home in one piece, and, you know, as you can see, I did. All right, guys, so I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.